What's up, everybody? It's back. I saw Avengers again yesterday, and I probably will see it again in the movie theater at least one more time before it leaves. It's one of my favorite movies of all time, and you can check out my review here, my spoiler-free review. And today is gonna be more of my favorite moments and the few things I really didn't like, but I couldn't really talk about another video because it kind of gives away plot lines. So just to let you know, spoilers. There's gonna be a lot of spoilers in this one. So if you haven't seen it yet, don't watch this video. I don't want to give anything away. But if you have, this is just my thoughts, and let me know in the comments below what you thought. I'm first gonna go over the top things that I liked, and then we'll go over what I didn't like. So one of the first things I liked, Captain Marvel saving Iron Man, and when he was him and Gamora. Not Gamora, I'm sorry. Nebulous were trapped in space. No, that moment, like for her to be introduced to what we know as the Avengers in the main Marvel universe was like big. Like to see her light up his face and like bring him back to Earth. And then like that's her introduction to the Avengers. So that was like kind of a geek out moment. I'm a huge Captain Marvel fan, not just of the movie, but I loved her in the comics when she was Miss Marvel, King Captain Marvel, all that. I love Captain Marvel. Like, I love Carol Danvers. Like, she's just one of my favorite characters. So that was like huge, like to see her formally introduced to the rest of the Marvel, to the rest of the Avengers, into the MCU officially. You know, we see her prequel, her movie, her origin story a couple months ago, and now to see her like really into it, like that was huge for me. Reuniting all of the original Avengers that do the snap. So a little plot for the movie, you have Ant-Man, he comes back, he has an idea, he goes to see Captain America and Black Widow, and then he tells them their idea, and then the only person they know who could probably pull this off is Tony. They go see Tony. Tony first says no, and then it hits him that he can really do this, and he's this forward thinker. He's this person who always wants to save people. Like that is his modus operandi. I mean, he doesn't really care about what that means, but in the end, he really cares about saving people. So, for that is why he agrees to help them, and so then they have to bring the original Avengers back together. So you see, Hulk going to get Thor, and you see Black Widow going to get Ronin / Hawkeye, to bring these characters back together. These are the originals, and to see them come back together to go back in time to try to save the world was like huge. Like that was pretty cool, especially think about Civil War and where they've been and how they've been like separated and all these adventures that we've gone through, and they haven't been together until now. So yeah, that was really big. Black Widow sacrificing herself. I'm not gonna lie, this is like the first moment I cried in the movie. Just to see the pain on Hawkeye's face, to see the pain on Clint's face that this was she was doing this, and what that meant and why she was doing it. Nat is somebody who didn't really have family until the Avengers. She's somebody who had been all alone, except for Clint. And for her to do this, was huge. And it was just, sad, but at the same time, you happy, not happy, but like, you feel like, oh wow, look, this huge sacrifice she's making, And it was like almost the exact opposite of when it was a sacrifice for Thanos when he killed Gamora, but it wasn't that self-sacrifice that we saw with Black Widow. So yeah, that was huge. I hope people are gonna like, oh, but she has a movie coming out, what they're gonna do now is her movie's gonna be a prequel. I mean, to me, it was always gonna be like a prequel, the show where she's from, their origin story, and her adventures before she became an Avenger. So I always thought it was gonna be that kind of movie, a femme fatale kind of movie. And yeah, I'm still looking forward to seeing it. It's gonna be awesome. I love Scarlett Johansson. I love Black Widow. I love that character. I love that kind of thing in comic books anyway. So I'm really looking forward to that. I think it's gonna be like their version of James Bond kind of thing. Iron Man, Cap, and Thanos fighting is another huge moment for me. Kind of going in order as they happened in the movie. I'm not really ranking them. Probably the biggest moment I'll get to later, but I'm not really ranking these. It's just like as they came and like they were huge for me was watching the movie. So to see Thor, Cap, and Iron Man go at Thanos was like awesome. Like you have the fat Thor. I mean, when you see the movie, you'll see it. Like everybody saw it. Like that was hilarious. Everybody cracked up in the movie. But you see the fat Thor, and he like becomes Thor again. Like he's Thor at that moment. Like he's not this former shell of himself. Like this is Thor, and you see that in him and Cap and Iron Man, like the three, not the strongest Avengers, but like the Avengers. Like when you think of the Avengers, those are the three that pop into your head. So to see those three going at Thanos was like awesome, and the fight and how they coordinate with each other and like everything. To see Thor with the hammer and the axe, and Cap using the shield, and Tony using his armor, and them all like beating off each other, it was like awesome. Like that was pure fan service, but it was like one of the best fight scenes that I've seen. And to see how Thanos is still holding his own, even though you got these three. I mean, Thor's hugely strong. You got such a skilled fighter in Captain America, and then you have the ingenuity of Iron Man, and then to see him still holding his own was just amazing. Like I just love that. Feeding off of that, to see Cap, like you see Thanos, like that scene when Thanos is up, you see him pushing the axe towards Thor's chest, and you're thinking, oh my God, and they show Mjolnir, and it's floating, you're thinking that, oh, so Thor's calling it, but no, it was Cap. Cap's calling it. Cap uses Mjolnir, and that was such a huge thing. Like, they teased it in the first Avengers movie, and then for it to pop up, I mean, for that happened in this scene, and then to have Thor be excited, like he was a fan, stepping back and get excited to see Captain America using his hammer, and how his excitement was just awesome. I mean, that was just like, wow. Like that moment right there was just, that moment alone to me was worth the price of admission. That wasn't my favorite moment, but it was huge. And to see the skill he used with, that just shows what kind of fighter that Captain America is. That shows what kind of ingenuity and just how he's just the perfect fighter. And like that, he's a true super soldier to be able to use on there like that. Never having to touch the hammer before in his life, and be able to use it like that he did in that fight was awesome. And then everyone snapped away, coming back. Like you see Cap, it's like they're defeated and like they're down, and then Thanos gives a line saying that he's going to take pleasure in destroying the Earth, and then he like calls his soldiers down, and so it's like now this is like the moment, and Cap does the Cap thing, and he pulls his shield on. I mean, he pulls the strap tight on his shield and say, let's get it. I can do this all day. And they hear Sam call out and say, Cap to your left, and then you see Black Panther come through, and then you see Black Panther and Shuri and Wakanda come through, and you see Sam come through, and you see Bucky come through, and you see all these characters who were snapped away come through these portals to help. And then it's like all the MCU is there, and you have Cap say, Avengers Assemble, and then the battle really, really starts. That moment right there. That was probably the best moment in the movie for me. Like that was the time, that was the moment you're like, holy shit, like this all has come together. 22 movies, 11 years of storytelling, and this is what it's come to. Like this is the moment, and it just, that battle right there, probably before this was my favorite battle scene was in Lord of the Rings, but this tops that. Like this is like the best moment ever. Like this is amazing. So yeah, definitely one of my favorites. This probably was the moment, probably the best moment I've ever had in the MCU. Like outside of in Black Panther, like you see like Wakanda for the first time, and then like that spectacle. But like this moment was probably tops that for me. Like this moment was like this was the top. The Spider-Man and Iron Man reuniting, like this kind of goes into that, but it was more of that personal reunitement, and you saw like they hinted at this was kind of like why Iron Man. One of the reasons why Iron Man decided to do this because he felt like he let Peter down, and for them to be reunited and for Tony to hug Peter, you know, that was a moment that it was kind of a tearjerker too. Like this big battle scene is going on, and yet you have this tender moment, this moment of like, you know, father son almost. That's the kind of way they portrayed it in this series. You know, that is just like amazing to me. Then Captain Marvel coming back, like that point, like it's like again, things aren't going looking good for our heroes. Things are looking good. You know, Thanos is raining down. You know, Scarlet Witch was about to like she was really kicking Thanos' ass, and like he knew that he was a moment of desperation. He had to do what he had to do, and he rains down. He rains hell down onto them. You know, he doesn't no worries about his soldiers, no worries about anything else. He just wants to like total destruction. Like he has to win. And for Carol to come up at that moment and destroy the ship and really help start turning the tide, you know, back to our heroes, it was like awesome. Like that again, she's one of my favorite characters. So to see her do that and to see her do what she did and to to try to come save the day again was awesome. Like that, I love that. So they're trying to get the glove, their version of the Infinity Gauntlet back, so they can get rid of it, so Thanos can get it, and our heroes are trying to get it through. Like Ronan, Hawkeye's trying to get through it. Black Panther, Spider-Man, and it looked like, you know, start raining hell. Like things aren't going to go well again. But Captain Marvel, she steps up, she gets the gauntlet, and then the women of Marvel clear her path. Like that moment right there, to have all the female heroes together, and they are the ones who are going to clear the path for probably the strongest hero, was awesome. Like that whole sequence, that 3 or 4 minutes of time that went by, them fighting and clearing the path for Carol was just awesome. Like that was amazing. Like I love that. Like that was a moment like I cheered. See that, and like again, it was just like powerful. And I like the vision of it. This is how it looked, and just to show how powerful these characters are, was awesome. Like they're on the same stage, same level as the men, was awesome. Like I love that. Iron Man stealing the stones from Thanos and doing his own snap. That was, again, show how smart Tony is to do the sleight of hand, to have Thanos like seem like he was so close to finally like to doing it again and annihilate the universe, and for Tony just to save the day, come out and do his snap and destroy Thanos' forces, and you know, end this conflict and save the day. It was awesome. And so that was a big moment. You know, bittersweet, you know, to see and knowing that was also the moment that Tony was going to die, but it was awesome. Like that was huge. And then to see, piggyback off that, Rhodey, Spider-Man, and Pepper Potts getting to say goodbye to Tony. You know, like those are the three I would have liked to seen Cap probably say goodbye to, like to show that they were really, I mean, I guess when they went back in time and early in the movie, they went back in time together and got to touch the rack. Like that was a moment that they showed they trust each other again and that they were friends again. But at the same time, I still would have liked to see at that moment at the end, Cap come over and be one of the ones to say goodbye as well before Tony's light went out. But I'm glad Pepper was the last one, and to tell him that he could rest. This plays off something that happened earlier in the movie when she says, "You'll never rest," knowing that you didn't do what you could. Saying that you could rest, Tony, we're gonna be okay. And then that's when Tony dies. Like that was awesome. Like that was like the perfect way to send him off. And then it goes right into the funeral. Not right into the funeral, some other things happen, but I mean, not really. anything big. It's showing that these people reconnecting with the people who were snapped away. But then to show the funeral, and you know, that was like a tear-jerking moment for me. That them saying goodbye to this character who, you know, he was the original Avenger. He's the one who saved the day, and yeah, that was like pretty amazing. And then you have Cap going back in time, and then Stang decided that he goes back in time, he returns all the stones to the moment that they took them, and he decides to stay. And they try to bring him back, and then they show the flashback, and they show him getting his last dance with Peggy Carter, staying with Peggy, having a full life with her, and everything. So, you know, that was like, again, the perfect way to send him off, you know, knowing that this is the last time we'll see him, and to send him off like that was like awesome. Like he lived the life. He got to live the life that he wanted to live. So I definitely enjoyed that. And then probably the next biggest moment of the movie for me, I mean, right there with Tony sacrificing himself, was when Cap passes the mantle on to Sam. Like that to me was like, wow. Like, you know, I'm a fan of Sam Wilson. I'm a fan of Falcon. I'm a fan of when his run as Captain America in the comics. I like what they did with that, how they really turned the story towards social justice and like the inequalities in America, and like he was a hero for all Americans. So I definitely like that storyline in the comics, and I'm glad they didn't do the Bucky Captain America run, at least for now, and like to do the Sam Wilson one, like that passing of the torch was like, I really like that. So yeah, I definitely enjoyed that. I'm glad they did it. I said that was like a huge moment for me as well. So like the end of the movie on that was like awesome. So yeah, those are the top big moments for me. And there's other moments in the movie that I really enjoyed, but like, those are the top moments. Like those moments were like, that's what made the movie for me. That's what really made the movie. I only really have a couple of gripes. So there's only like two things really that I didn't care for. One of them is I don't really like how they sideline Carol for most of the movie. Like she was in the beginning, she helped kill Thanos. She makes an appearance, you know, and she's in space and says, I don't know when I'll be back. You know, there's a lot of stuff going on out here. And then, you know, she comes in the end. Like she basically is in the movie, like makes 3 appearances. She's in the movie 25 minutes out of a 3-hour movie. And I'm a fan, so maybe that's one of the reasons why I would like to see more of her. But I definitely would like to see more of Carol. Yeah, so that was a little bit of a disappointment. I thought we would see more of her. I thought she would help when he went back in time and all that. So to sideline her so much of the movie kind of was a little bit of a disappointment, honestly. And then my other issue, I hate time travel. Like I feel like it's such an overused trope in movies and comics and TV that I just don't like it. Like I stopped watching Flash because they just kept doing it. And it's like, come on, man. Come on, Barry. Like you did it once. You screwed things up. Why do you keep doing it? Like why? But every time I turn around, they're doing it again. And it's like, you don't have anything else to do. Like to me, that's something they should do at like the very end of the show is time travel. And then that's how the show ends kind of thing. But they use it all the time. And in comics, especially Marvel, they've killed it. Like they have used time travel so many times to fix shit that it is ridiculous. Like every time I turn around, there's another event, and in that event, they're traveling through time. Stop. Like, just stop. I can't. It's too much. Too much. Time travel stuff is just too much for me. Like it's really annoying. I just don't like it. You know, like there's so many movies and TV shows. I mean, movies, like they listed almost every one of them. I don't think they missed a Terminator, but like all these other movies that they listed that were time travel based, and it's like, come on. Like it's one thing you see it, and you're like, oh, okay, but like to see it constantly, like it's just, ooh, stop. Like I guess I just have time travel fatigue. I liked how they spent it. I like their spin on it with the alternate timelines and all that. Like I like that, but at the same time, it was still like for me, I guess I'm just like I said, I'm just time traveled out. So I don't know what else they could have done. Time travel was probably the best way for it, and I get it. So whatever, but at the same time, if you give me a choice, I probably would not have done time travel. I would have figured something else out. So, but other than that, like those are two. One was just like a personal thing, kind of just because I'm just all trying to travel out, and the other one is we're actually both personal because I love Carol Danvers and I would like to see more of her in this movie. But I'm sure like she'll play a bigger part going forward. I know she's gonna have a sequel. I mean, her movie's made $1 billion worldwide, and like it was before this, like the second biggest Marvel movie. Uh, so yeah, she's gonna have a sequel. She's gonna be definitely in the next Avengers movie, whenever that is, 4 or 5 years from now, whatever. So we know that, but at the same time, I still would like to see more of her. And this time travel is overdone. Hopefully, they won't do it again anytime soon, or ever. Really, hope they never do it ever again. So that's what I thought. Let me know in the comments below what you thought. I love this movie. Love talking about this movie. So yeah, let's have a conversation in the comments below. And until the next time, peace.